Hello, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with a quick note here about a board for an LG, let me see what the model was, 60LB7100-UT, and the power supply board's part number is EAY63072701. The reason I make this video is this board seems to be hard to find and expensive, unless you want to buy it for real cheap and possibly not working. We don't have the TV, but as I have said, many local TV repairmen bring us boards, especially power boards, knowing that we oftentimes are able to fix them without having the whole TV. So right now, we have one of those repairmen who brought us that board, and they said that they replaced all the strips in the backlight panel, but still when they connect, they just flash for a second and go off, and they believe the problem is with the board, which is very rare. You know, easily 99.9% of the time when something like that happens, it will be on the strips. But we promise to take a look. Finding problems with the LED drivers can be usually pretty hard, and on this board, again, we're doing it dry, and there are better ways with electronic loads, with all the circuits and everything, but I've just decided to take a quick look on what could be wrong. Usual check on the transistors and the output for the current drivers. Nothing that was apparently shorted. Nothing measured shorted or bad. I'm sorry, I'm touching those, so I do have sounds. All of those test fine. Until I took a closer look on the drivers of those, and I don't know if you can instantly see it. Take a little while, but there's one thing that sits off the whole thing, and it is that resistor here. If you take a closer look, you will see that you can see the values on all the other ones, and this one is just off. Of course, it could be because it's small, but it's darker. Let me see if I can zoom. There's just nothing there. If you look at the similar ones on the other side, you will find that they all have values. And this is actually how do you find these guys' value. I tested it in circuit, and unlike the other ones that are similar, this one measures absolutely open. And under a scope, there is something that may or may not have been a burn. In my opinion, it is burnt, and its value is 10K. Because that's the same thing here, and because that is the same thing here. Yeah, there it is. So I believe that this was burned. Now this transistor isn't burned, doesn't show burned. And another something, when you trace the circuit where this belongs, and that circuit basically points to here, the LED driver. And one common thing that you would find is in a circuit where there is broken, the ground to that circuit resistance would be abnormal. So what you would want to do is you want to measure the resistance from the ground, which in this case is relatively easy bet. Would be that spot. Sorry, here, which is common. And so you take, this would be the ground, just because of the sheer, sorry, the other way around, the probes, just because of the sheer amount of soldering that it has taken, I would bet it would be the ground. Yep, same on both ends. So one way to do it will be to take the resistance on the side of that goes to the IC. And if the IC was burned, typically you will have a really low resistance here, abnormally low, at least compared to others. It's apparently similar here, so, this is what I would compare it against. And the typical resistance that I'm getting here is, I'm sorry, I'm a little clumsy doing both camera work and actual measuring. So what I'm getting is about 650 ohms. And that's in a diode testing mode. If you do it with a precise resistance, it would be different. But the important part is that doing the same resistance over here gives me pretty much the same value. So it doesn't seem like the problem is with the IC. We will know once I replace that and give it back to the tech, who will bring it to the TV and see if it works. And if you have a similar problem, I will post a note once I post that video, whether this solution worked or not. There may be more that's needed. This may still be bad and I may not be catching it. I don't think there's anything here that I'm not catching. This will be fine. There may have been a circuit that was really bad, but why would that resistor burn? Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is there are 3 of those groups, and apparently that board fails a lot, and I'm ready to bet that this is going to be what's happening, and it may not necessarily be in this group. It may be the 100K here, it may be the 100K here, but it will be probably one of them. So hopefully this will help. Again, I will post once I find out whether it fixed the problem with that board, which should be soon. In the meantime, hope it helps. Best of luck with your repairs.